sometime later, Sarah dies, right? And Abraham goes to his servant and makes a deal with him. Makes an oath. He says, "Hey, I need you to go to my homeland and find a wife for Isaac. She must come from my kindred." So Abraham, he says, "Do not take a wife from the Canaanites." Abraham understands the importance of keeping purity in that family lineage. That not to marry to a pagan. He further says to his servant, he says, "When you go, make sure that the woman is to come back. Isaac isn't to go to the woman, she's to return." See, because Abraham understands that he was called from the land, not to go back to it, that land is under covenant, that is promised to him, and then that's the importance of him staying there. Now, obviously the woman's got her own will, but this is the oath that he takes with his servant. So, what's the servant do? The servant loads up 10 camels full of gifts. Okay? I don't know what size U-Haul truck that is, but it sounds like a lot of stuff, don't it? All right? So, this would have been a dowry fee is what it would have been. Okay? Now, Abram's got a brother, Nahor is his name, that's been left way back wherever they came from. Okay? And that's where he's going right now. He's going with these 10 camels to find a wife suitable for Isaac. And so those 10 camels and those gifts are what we know as a dowry fee, which we've been talking about all along. But something else to understand what the dowry fee for was, it was to be able to replace the vacuum that takes effect when that woman leaves. Okay, because she's providing a service, she's doing chores and things of that nature, and so she's going to need to be compensated for to create means to be able to make that comfortable. So as he returns to this land, he's returning to Abraham's brother. This man would have been familiar with Abraham. They may not have seen each other for who knows how long. Could have been 100 years more. I don't know. They may not see each other since he left there. But he would still know his brother. He'd still remember his brother. And so when this man comes from Abraham, he would have had a comfort about knowing who his daughter's going to, because he would know that it's my kid, it's my family. There's going to be a natural, automatic, built-in DNA love for her. But not only that, when this entourage of camels come in with all these gifts, this is demonstrating not only is that going to be happening, but she's going to be taken care of. He's going for a queen. He's not just this. She's going to come back. She's going to be treated like royalty. This is what this demonstrates. So this is an arranged marriage. That's what's going on here. And what's interesting about this is that the servant, when he arrives there, he goes into prayer to the Lord about Rebekah. He goes and he's asking, he's giving the Lord a bit of a test, and he's asking for confirmation on it. This is important. So Genesis 24, 12 through 14 says, "He said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, please grant me success today and show steadfast love to my master Abraham." He makes it clear to what God he's praying to. God of my master Abraham. "Behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water." Now, I would bet there's more than just Nahor's daughters going out there. This is probably a city full of multiple families, and there's many different women going out there. And so the servant says, "Let the young woman to whom I shall say, please let down your jar that I may drink, and who shall say, drink, and I will water your camels. Let her be the one whom you have appointed for your servant Isaac. By this I shall know that you have shown steadfast love to my master. So he asks for confirmation on the woman. He goes into prayer and he asks for confirmation about it. This is what we want to do when we're seeking for our own spouse. We want to be in prayer, but we want to be patient and waiting, and we want to ask that the Lord will bring confirmation if this one is from Him. And so it goes down exactly as he asks. And he discovers and he finds Rebekah. Rebekah's a woman. She does this exact thing. And so then the servant goes back to Rebekah's household and begins to negotiate with the family for Rebekah. That's what happens. And so then look what happens further on in the narrative in Genesis 24:63 to 67. It says, And Isaac went out to meditate in the field toward evening, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, there were camels coming. He knows this is his gift. This is his wife coming back. He would have known this, okay? And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she dismounted from the camel and said to the servant, Who is that strapping young man walking in the field to meet us? See who's paying attention. My wife is. Okay. All right. I'll do it again for you one more time. So, then Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she dismounted from the camel and said to the servant, Who is that strapping young man walking in the field to meet us? Servant said, let it go. I'll talk to you later. The servant said, It is my master. So she took her veil and covered herself. She does this as a means of respect. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. So he shares to him the prayer he made. He shares to him how that happened, how the negotiate. He tells him the whole story, right? Then Isaac brought her into the tent of Sarah, his mother, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So what do we see here? We see this is another marriage, right? Yet, we didn't hear about a betrothing period. We didn't hear about an engagement season. We didn't hear about the wedding ceremony, the wedding feast. We didn't hear about any of the typical traditional stuff that we see around marriage. We didn't hear about them going down to the courthouse and getting a paper certificate or anything like that. But yet, a marriage is still formed. A marriage is still formed. What's the difference, though? What's the difference between this marriage and Hagar and Abraham? The difference is that one wasn't backed by God, and this one was confirmed and sought out in prayer and confirmed by God.